Discipline is a trap. Need proof? You're here still looking for something that worked. And today I'm giving you the 8-step system that changed my life. I'm autistic. I have ADHD, chronic pain, and a nervous system that rebels every time that there's a demand, even the demands that I placed on myself. I was stuck in a cycle of burnout for 6 years, trying to get more disciplined and get my shit together. How did I get out of it? I built a system that actually works with my brain, and I'm sharing it with you. So let's get right into it. First step is reflective initiation. This is the dreaming stage. The key to this step is to let yourself dream, to imagine what you want and write everything down. Just brain dump it all down on a piece of paper. It doesn't need to be neat. It doesn't need to be clean. It doesn't need to be organized, and it certainly doesn't need to be realistic. We are not doing SMART goals here. This is completely different. What is it that you dream? What is it that you value? What do you want? When you were a kid, when you were a teenager, what was it that spoke to you? Did you want to help people? Did you see a motivational speaker and want to do that? Try to think of any moments, if you can remember them in your past, where you felt inspired, and write those down. Think of what you want for your future. Do you want a big house? Do you want to live in a cabin in the middle of the woods? There are no boundaries to this. Just write down what you dream. Once you have all of those down on paper, go through them one by one and ask yourself, is this actually my dream? Or is this what I feel like I should dream? Is this what I feel like I should want? You'd be surprised how many of your goals aren't actually yours, that they were put there by the world, by society, by your parents, by your friends. Once you have that done, you have your seeds, which brings us right into step 2, the seed sorting. What categories can each seed fall under? These categories can be your average financial, career, relationship goals. However, they could also be something completely unique to you. And there is every possibility that a seed will be entirely in its own category and nothing else will be with it. That's okay. Each section of your greenhouse grows at different speeds, requires different care and its own climate. Step 3 is the care cards. This is just writing a care card for each goal. A care card is what this goal needs to grow. This isn't on a timeline because every plant grows at a different pace and sometimes they don't really grow at the rate that you expect. Instead of thinking of it as this is what I need to do to achieve this within a year, just write down everything that this goal will need from you in order to achieve it at all. Brain dump every task that you can think of that is related to this goal and just put it all down. It doesn't matter if you have them all right now. We can always go back and add more later. And now this isn't something we come back to later and say, why hasn't this grown yet? This is, what does this need from me in order to grow? In my personal experience of this, I found there are usually 3 different tiers of tasks. There's what you're going to do right now. There's what you're currently working toward, but might be locked behind a different goal. And also the research, what you need to look into to figure out what that goal needs. You might not necessarily know exactly what tasks a goal requires, but that research is in itself a task. So we can write that down on these care cards and that can be the step. Step 4 is metrics of success. And this is just signs of growth. What are the steps along the way that will allow you to see the growth that's happening in this goal? Because it's really, really easy for us to feel like we're not getting anywhere. It's really hard to see progression as it's happening. So pre-planning these points at which you can notice this kind of helps you to really see the progress that you're making, even if it doesn't feel like you're actually making any progress. With this, you can actually see the signs of this goal coming into fruition rather than it just disappearing into the void. Step 5 is seasonal planning. I don't plan based on typical quarters. I kind of made my own quarters based on the seasons in my area, the seasons that feel more right for me, the seasons that align with my spirituality and with my energy levels, because my energy fluctuates throughout the year. So spring for me is planting, summer is growing, autumn is harvest, and winter is rest. In addition to that, the goals that you choose for each season depend on your energy level for that season or the priority of that goal. So we have our active goals, our perennial goals, and our dormant goals. Active goals are the goals that we're working on this season. Perennial goals are the goals that are working throughout the year. And this could be something like developing home maintenance systems, things that are constantly kind of going on in the background. And your dormant goals are the goals that are going to wait. It's important to remember that we can't tackle all of our goals at once. Dormant isn't dead. It's just preserving energy so that when it can grow, it's able to thrive. Step 6 is a monthly breakdown. Pick 3 to 5 pots each month. No more. Spreading yourself thin is like overcrowding a pot. They all suck up the nutrients and then all of the plants suffer as a result. So just 3 to 5 for each month. Then you pick from your care cards which tasks you're going to work on that month. For me, myself, I typically do 3 to 4 as I can pick one each week. However, for you, that may be different. And if you don't complete the tasks that you've chosen for this month, that's not failure, that's information. You can use that information in order to educate yourself further for next month. It's not about restricting yourself, it's just about planning. Like I said before, not all plants grow at the rate that you expect. So it's okay if you don't finish one of these tasks. It's okay if you don't finish any of these tasks. We can't necessarily predict the energy that we are going to have. Take it as information into the next season. Step 7 is light levels. This is probably the most important part of this whole system. There are 4 light levels based off of your energy or your pain levels. If you deal with pain at the beginning of each day, you determine your light level. Now, this can take some practice. It's really easy to get into wishful thinking with the light levels. But over time, you start to realize when you wrote down a higher energy level because that's what you wanted for that day rather than what you actually had within you, and you can start to adjust that. So there's 4 light levels that I use. The first is sun, second is bright, third is shade, and the 4th is dark. Sun is full energy, like more than usual. This is when you're highly motivated, when you feel like you can take on the world, when you wake up and the sun is shining and you feel like everything is just possible. These are the days that I use to do the most. Within a certain limit, because it is important to not overextend yourself. That is a very bad habit that I have. On a day that is sun, I will pick 3 tasks related to my goals to focus on for that day. I might have a bonus if I have some extra momentum, or it might only end up being 2 if one of those tasks ends up being a little more intensive. But ultimately, sun is when I do the most. This is when I'm batching content. This is when I'm catching up on something that I haven't been able to do. These days are rare for me, but they are really helpful, and especially because I do have ADHD and I can get really hyperfixated on things, it helps to allow myself to do more on a certain day and not just restrict myself constantly, but with a certain boundary and limit so that I don't end up overdoing it, because that has been the bane of my existence. Bright is when you wake up with a normal energy level. So this is when you're able to just carry out normal tasks, essentially. This is your baseline energy level. Bright for me can also mean it's just a low pain day. Regardless, I allow myself 2 major goal tasks, depending on how many tasks are within that task, but 2 goal moving tasks, maybe a 3rd bonus task if I'm feeling the momentum. But I have started to notice that if I allow myself to do too much of that, then I do end up descending into the next level with the next day, which is shade. Shade is low energy, or pain levels are increasing, just when you feel like you can do a little bit, but not really a whole lot. I allow myself 1 single goal moving task with boundaries. And this can be really difficult at first because you feel like you should be doing more. It's what discipline culture tells us. but just doing one small thing is monumentally better than burning yourself out by doing multiple things and getting yourself stuck in a cycle where you have no energy. Those no energy days are what I call dark days. On a dark day, everything is put aside. I might do a little bit of home maintenance if I absolutely have to, and it's a low effort task. But for the most part, dark is full recovery. Multiple dark days does not mean that you're lazy. Multiple dark days does not mean that you are failing. It is your system demanding recovery. As you start to use this system and use these light levels, you actually will notice that the amount of days that you have that are dark goes down significantly. Instead of needing to recover, you're actually getting rest when it's needed, and that makes a huge difference. So dark days are not laziness. This is planned rescue. For me, this can often be taking a nap, taking a hot bath, resting with just my heating pad and a book, watching some comfort show. There are many different forms that this kind of recovery can take, but the focus on dark days is recovery. On a dark day, doing nothing is success. Don't punish yourself for having a bad day. That's what this whole system is literally designed for. This system is designed for people who get burnt out, who have been burnt out, who've been in a cycle of burnout. In order to get out of that burnout, you have to respect your dark days. Let yourself rest and remind yourself that that rest is success. I've been using this light level system for a few months now, and for the first time in, oh gosh, I don't even know. I don't even think I could give you a timeline for this, but for the first time, I sat down to figure out what I needed to do that day in terms of house upkeep, in terms of the goals that I had for that day. And at the time, a lot of my goals had to do with getting caught up on the things that I had been behind on for so long because of the burnout cycle that I was in. And when I sat down to figure out what I needed to catch up on and what I needed to do to work towards getting caught up, I suddenly realized that I was actually caught up for the first time, probably ever, but definitely in years. So I am living proof that working with this system and honoring your own energy levels each and every day actually makes you a lot more consistent than pushing yourself harder every single time that you start to feel like you're not doing enough. And if you'd like to start tracking your light levels, I've included my light level starter kit in the link in the description below. And I highly recommend downloading that so that you can track your own light levels. You'd be really surprised at what it reveals for you. Final step is daily tending and blooms and compost. For this, I've categorized the tasks that we do in a day into 3 areas. Tending is active goal-moving tasks. Misting is general life maintenance, admin, the things that you need to do around the house, anything that doesn't necessarily fall under the other 2 categories. And sunlight is anything that fuels you, anything that restores you, anything that gives you joy. This can be hobbies. If you like to do makeup, it could be doing your makeup. It could be anything that makes you feel good. I keep track of all this in my journal, and I have different bullet points for each type of task. I'll go into that in another video. In doing this, I'm able to distinguish between the important goal tasks that I need to do for the day, the things that I'm doing that are just more to sustain me and to keep that mindset around them, that they're not things that I have to do. They're things that I do because I enjoy them. Also, just because it's a lot easier to track everything in that way for me. The second part of this is the blooms and compost. At the end of every day, I reflect on my day and figure out what my blooms are and what my compost is. Blooms are what went well, what made me feel good, what was positive in my day, maybe even things that I'm grateful for. I do try to include more blooms than compost, just to kind of get myself in the habit of looking more for the positives. Compost is negatives or things that didn't go well, things that didn't work, things that didn't feel so good. There's a quote that I found a while back. The flower, when it wilts, becomes the compost. The compost can help grow a flower again. And I absolutely love this. It works perfectly within my greenhouse philosophy, but also compost isn't failure. Compost is not things to beat yourself up over. It's raw material that you can use to further educate yourself and to figure out the barriers that are in your way. At the end of every week, I do what I call a blooms harvest and compost turnover. So part of my weekly reflection process includes taking a look back on the blooms and really picking out the things that stand out for me so that I can be really positive moving forward and see those positives instead of only focusing on what felt negative. And then also examining the compost, trying to see if there's any trends between the compost and my energy levels, anything that I can shift or change, or what barriers there may be in the way. Compost just is information. It's fertilizer. It's not failure. This isn't a quick fix or 5 steps to be more productive. This is a living, breathing system. It's messy. It's honest. It functions with your energy instead of asking you to ignore it and just push through it. I built this for myself because I was at my lowest point. I lost everything and I had no idea how to pull out of it. I had tried everything that I could possibly think of. I had dove down the YouTube rabbit hole of productivity advice. I had tried to just get more disciplined. I had tried everything to get my life together and nothing worked. It just left me exhausted, defeated, and lacking confidence because everything that I watched said you have to build trust in yourself. In the end, the message that I received was that I couldn't trust myself because I couldn't push through, because I couldn't form that discipline. It just left me more sure that I couldn't do it until this. I'm going deeper into each step in future videos, so please hit subscribe so that you don't miss those, because there is a lot more nuance to each step than I'd be able to fit into this video. Also, tell me in the comments, which step hit the hardest for you? For me, it's the light levels. That was a game changer for me. If you've been struggling with feeling lazy and need some help identifying your barriers, watch this video next because it might just change your life. Thank you.